Bakrie, CEO and President Director of PT Bakrie and Brothers.
Thank you very much, Stephen. Thank you very much, everybody. I'd like to say why now, because I think really all the stars are aligned. You have the right people in place. You have Ambassador Desra in the UK. You have Ambassador Owen over here. You have Baroness Neville, who I had the pleasure to meet, and certainly MP Richard Graham. And of course, all the new friends I'm making right now. I mean, if we cannot do anything right now, I don't know when we can do it, really. And the second thing, I think the blue sky effects in Indonesia post-COVID is really one of the political driver why this EV space can actually make a dent finally in Indonesia. Just to brief you, something that maybe you already know, Indonesia is the third largest democracy in the world, and 2/3 of the population, they are below 40 years old. So when they say they want to do things, they really do things, and the politicians listen. Just one anecdote, there is this young lady, 21-year-old, her name is Melati Whitson, single-handedly, for example, in Bali, campaigned for plastic and plastic bag and straw ban in Bali, and the policymakers listen and implement it. So that's just one an anecdote saying that, hey, I think being the third largest democracy really helped. And as we have open media and we own ourselves a news station and we campaign for this, that helps. The second thing you heard already about the readiness to go to the market, from the technology availability, natural resources, the market, and then my friend here in Standard Chartered, Parino, mentioned about the capital market. So it's almost like, you have the demand from the people in Indonesia and the policymakers actually listen. And then you have the supply side coming from, the readily available technology, the capital, and also the natural resources. So that's basically why I think the time is now. And the second thing, why are we doing this? We are a group that has been doing industrialization for 78 years, from steel business and also natural resources upscaling. Then we went to the industrialization for the TMT, telecom, media, and technology. And now I think the future, as everybody is saying the same thing, is electric vehicle and renewable energy. And we don't mind to become a pioneer in each one of this. We actually started this EV movement together with the government in 2018 with product launch of the heavy mobility or bus in the IMF World Bank conference in Bali. And in 2019, we worked together with Chambers of Commerce and Industry to push for the issuance of Presidential Decree number 55 on the EV, mobility. And we received, orders starting in 2019 for the e-formula that has been postponed because of the COVID. We went through the homologation process, and then we had this trial in Jakarta and Bali and so on. So now we are the one that is actually focusing on Transjakarta. Now, what's most important thing, I think, is to highlight why bus for us. Well, as we know, 25% of transportation contribute to the carbon emission, and public transportation is a big part of it when it comes in Indonesia. And buses is a big thing in Indonesia, about 400,000 buses to be converted by 2030, as Professor Bojonegoro already mentioned. And in Jakarta alone, 14,000 is planning to be converted starting this year. What's interesting is that this supply and demand that we spoke really is happening during the COVID time, when the budget of the national and regional government, especially regional government, is being cut by half because they have to reallocate it for the health crisis COVID purposes. Even that, they're still doing it. And the second thing also, the reason why we're doing it is that the going up the value chain possibilities is big. We spoke about the financial solution possibility, and I will speak about how UK can help us, the infrastructure provider, battery charger producer, chassis assembler, bodybuilder, and so on. But going forward, we can also become, smart operator, not only us, but many people, route owners, and who knows, now maybe I can go to the last question that you mentioned. What can we do together with UK? Well, UK is known for a lot of things. Industrialization is not, new for UK, right? And when we talk about this EV movement, I think we should also talk about, the extension of this, I call heavy e-mobility movement. I think in a matter of 5 to 6 years, the autonomous heavy e-mobility technology provider like Lumina in the UK can become one of the partners over here. And new alternative energy technology like hydrogen fuel cell, it's just a matter of time. Just remember, we have one of the, if not the largest, coal, supply in Indonesia, and UK. What I gather is that 59% of all public transportation is coming from buses. So that's why all the more, this makes so much sense. And lastly, what we can do together, rather than learning about how this industrialization could take place. And I heard a beautiful presentation from Dr. Emmy Hogadell. Also on the financing part, we launched just last year the first ever impact fund for Indonesia. But for the financing of this mobility for public transportation can also be a possibility for innovation. I mean, all these state-owned enterprises, or at least provincial enterprises operators, they can finance on their own. But how about the public operators? They actually need, I mean, I'm talking about the feeders of the buses. So they need certainly some creative financing. And UK, with the capital market being established, we also have, not big yet, but Komodo bonds, for example, being launched a couple of years ago. That's one of the things of exemplary what UK can offer. So a lot of things, Stephen, and I'm very excited. And this is one of the things that you can actually make a legacy, really, during COVID time. And I want to say that with the Omnibus Law, or the law of Job Creation Act, already passed, simplifying hundreds of laws into one to make sure that it's easier to invest in Indonesia during 2020. All the derivative decrees have been made and released. I think this is a prime, opportunity to come into the Indonesian market, and I certainly would like to hear a lot of inputs from all of your experience. Thank you, Stephen.